The Catholic Morning Show.
Thanks for joining us here this morning. Deacon Mark Campbell along with Alexia Baker and Brady Grimm. Making our way through this Friday show. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to talk with Brian Sweeney. He's been our director of finance here at Iowa Catholic Radio for a long time, and 13 years to be exact, and he's going to be stepping away. So we're going to spend a good chunk of the morning talking to him about a variety of things, including his experience working here at Iowa Catholic Radio. Just want to remind you that coming up tomorrow morning here at the Iowa Catholic Radio studio, 1355 50th Street in West Des Moines, the pilgrimage for the unborn, kicking off at 5 a.m. over at St. Boniface with Mass in Waukee. So if you want to be a part of this pilgrimage that is going to make its way to several parishes around the Des Moines metro area, and it will conclude on Sunday afternoon with a Mass at 2:40 p.m. at St. Pius X in Urbandale. So an opportunity for you to participate in something that is going to bring hopefully a lot of awareness and quite a undertaking by A.J. Brown. Of course, we've had him on the morning show talking about that. But tomorrow morning at 8:55 a.m., the pilgrimage will make its way from St. Francis of Assisi to our studio here, where a rosary will be prayed. So if you are wanting to be a part of this pilgrimage, you can go to IVHcare/pilgrimage. Or you can go to iowacatholicradio.com, or you can join us here at 8:55 a.m. tomorrow morning. And for this pilgrimage, Brady will give us an update on the forecast for that. They may be encountering a little bit of rain. But with that, let's get to our conversation here this morning. Welcoming into the show this morning, Director of Finance, Brian Sweeney. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Deacon.
Well, it's as we queue up the final days here of your time here at Iowa Catholic Radio, we want to draw upon some of your wisdom and experience. Will you allow us to do that?
Sure.
This is a place where you don't get asked a whole lot. You get kind of voluntold oftentimes.
Right.
Yeah, that's something you're just vaguely familiar with.
Yeah.
13 years here at Iowa Catholic Radio, and one of the things that I know some of the younger members of our team have drawn some inspiration or appreciation for is, you're a man of discipline. And now, was that something that you've always had, or is, and I'm just saying, generally speaking, you've got your routine, you got your way of doing things. Is that a personality thing or something you learned as an accountant?
Oh, probably a little of everything. I mean, in my younger days, I would not have called myself a person of discipline, for sure. But as I mature and part as practice as an accountant, because precision and schedule is really an important part of that role. But more discipline in my personal life has come around in the last 4 years or so, really, really big.
Yeah, about the time I started here, so I'll take credit for that.
Sure.
No, it's so. I mean, you've been here at Iowa Catholic Radio for 13 years. Again, done a tremendous job of helping steer our finances and making things very black and white for us, which is very important. There's no muddy water with you, sir. But going back to say 4 years ago, as you started adopting a little bit more discipline, was there a particular catalyst or a reason why you recognized a need for more discipline?
Oh, absolutely. During my annual physical coming up on 4 years ago, my triglycerides were probably 4 times what they should have been. And everything else was fine, but I really wasn't paying attention to eating very well or exercising very much. And so that was the switch that got me to change my diet and exercise regularly. So what that became is I bought a treadmill desk, and I have it in my office at home. And so it's got enough room for my laptop. And I said, I had to figure out how to get myself on this thing every day. So what I came upon somehow is to say, well, why can't you do your daily prayer and be on the treadmill at the same time? That way you do something that you want to do with something that you maybe don't want to do, and you get both done at the same time. So before that, I had all my prayers because, again, the discipline and structure. my daily prayers are all tasks in Outlook every day. And there's either a link to the Rosary meditation or there's it's written out in the task. And that routine, depending on how, and including reading the Bible in a year on the Catholic Bible app, sorry, Father Mike, and that takes about 45 minutes or plus or minus, depending on how long the readings are. So I run at a pace of about 4.3 miles per hour and do my daily prayers for 45 minutes. And that's a pretty good workout, and it has improved my blood chemistry by quite a bit.
I suppose prayer has proven to be one of those things that's good for the heart, good for our stress relief. I think that's really great, because I was struggling in my own prayer life some years ago, and I was speaking to somebody who said, well, you just told me that everything that gets put on your list gets done in a day, nearly everything, and he says, do you have prayer on that list? And I'm like, well, no. I mean, that's just like a given. I should do that. He says, try putting prayer on the list and see if that helps with your ability to pray. And by gosh, it works. You put it on the list, and because again, I think the thing that happens for all of us is if it's not staring us in the face, it's easier to kind of push off or forget or delay. But man, when it's sitting there and it's like, it's 9:30 in the morning and I haven't done morning prayer yet, like I better get out and do it. And I like that you incorporated exercise with it, because I also find that that's also a good kind of two birds with one stone sort of approach. And so let's talk about your prayer routine. When did you adopt a current prayer routine that you have? Was that as a child, as a young Catholic?
No. Again, that's relatively recent, and I might credit that to being a product of working at Iowa Catholic Radio, probably, because some of those tasks in Outlook go back to 2019. And so they've been a recurring task since 2019. So, and then they slowly get added to. It's like, oh, that's a really good prayer. I'll put that one in there. And so really the real discipline of it is still relatively recent, only maybe 7 years.
Yeah.
But I also find that if you pay attention to the prayers, you forget about the pain on the treadmill. So you get a good workout without, focusing on, I got 5 more minutes. No. Just keep going through the list. Yep.
So you pray the Rosary.
Pray the Rosary.
What else do you cover in 45 minutes? Because that takes about 15.
Yeah, the Rosary takes right at 15 with all the extra prayers at the end, the optional prayers at the end. There's a lot of some personal prayers, the Chaplet of Divine Mercy, the Divine Office morning prayer. I have the one that is my wife thinks it's rather creepy, but I have a list of prayers for the soul in purgatory by name, and I think there's 150 names on that list of people that I know or friends of friends who have passed away that get prayed for by name every day.
Wow, that's actually phenomenal. I thought I knew you quite well, but that's one I didn't know about. And does anybody ever fall off that list? Do you ever get assurances like, Brian, they're good, they've made it?
No, I haven't. I also have the one that is sometimes sad is I do have another list of prayers for people who are sick, and sometimes they get moved from one list to the other.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But sometimes they
come off the list. Yeah.
Yes. And thanks be to God.
Yep.
I know a prayer that you and I have talked about, and I want to share that share this one with our listeners. Came from a good Monsignor Bignano, and a prayer of abandonment. Is that one that is still a part of your, or is it a Surrender Novena?
No, but Monsignor Bignano, 3-4 years ago, gave me the Surrender Novena. Monsignor Bignano is a sometimes attendee at Cigar Club on Friday.
Yeah.
And when he's there, it is a very, very good day. It doesn't matter. So he gave me the Surrender Novena, and he's handing out these prayer cards, and he says, you need to pray this. And it's like, okay, if Monsignor Bignano thinks it's a good idea, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, and I said, oh, this is some pretty powerful stuff. And that is part of the rotation, one day of the Surrender Novena every day. And after I had gone through that a couple of times, my outlook on life dramatically changed.
Yeah.
and letting Jesus take care of things. And he does take care of things. Sometimes in very unexpected ways, he takes care of things. But the amount of peace that I got from Monsignor, and I've told him this a number of times, was phenomenal. It's life-changing.
Yeah, the novena, as I recall, there's, again, it's 9 days, but then it closes with, I think, do you pray it 3 times? Jesus, I surrender myself to you, take care of everything.
10 times.
10 times.
Yep.
Well, maybe that's why I didn't achieve the same level of peace. I was shorting myself a few repetitions there. Well, Brian, anything else here as we wrap up this part of our conversation around discipline and prayer? Maybe some encouragement for those who might be listening and thinking, man, this guy sounds like he has it all together.
Well, it's not something, if you feel like you want to improve things, you want to become more disciplined, you want to get in better shape, it starts with small steps. Just start with one thing.
Make a plan.
Just start small and build on that. You're not going to get to where you can walk 5 miles. If you don't walk and you want to go, I want to walk 5 miles, you're not going to go out and walk 5 miles. You got to build up to it. So it's small incremental steps, and do grab a copy of the Surrender Novena and just let Jesus take care of it.
Yeah.
And things will come to you. You will be able to build. You'll be able to get in better and better and better shape. And it's a journey.
Absolutely. Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself. He's Brian Sweeney, Director of Finance for not much longer, but he's been a great servant to the mission of Iowa Catholic Radio, not only through what he does, but sharing his wisdom and insight and his life with us. And so I'm grateful to call you not only a colleague, but a friend, Brian.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk some more here in just a little bit.
Listen to the Catholic Morning Show weekdays at 7 a.m. Central on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, iowacatholicradio.com, or the Iowa Catholic Radio app.